You tried to move on. You tried to put your life back together. Until one day, you see him at the store when you're leaving work. Somewhere you may never expect, the criminal who tore your life apart is walking free. But you may never know until you come face to face with him. It's time for equal rights. It's time for the Crime Victim Rights Amendment.
I was strangled until I was unconscious, and then raped. I wasn't notified that my attacker was released and back on the streets.
After going through so much trauma, crime victims in Pennsylvania are too often re-victimized by our courts.
My son was murdered, and the judicial system treated me like an afterthought.
I heard through the grapevine that my son's killer was released. I was never notified.
Let's give equal rights to crime victims.
Vote yes on the Crime Victim Rights Amendment.
I'm Kelsey Grammer. My dad was gunned down at his home at the age of 38. 6 years later, my sister was brutally raped and murdered. She was 18. When my father's killer was released, I found out through the National Enquirer. It seemed like a cruel joke. In my sister's case, I have been allowed a voice in the parole hearings of her killers. But that's not always true in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's Marsys law, the Crime Victim Rights Amendment, gives victims and their families a voice in the process. Please vote yes for the Crime Victims Amendment.